So, your standards for other people are also the standards that you need to be meeting yourself. I will never ask of a man to do something that I'm not doing in terms of values and in terms of character. I will not ask of a man to be transparent and honest with me if I'm not being transparent and honest with him. I will not ask of a man that he is patient with me if I am not patient with him. It doesn't work like that. Men are going to be attracted to someone who have similar values and a similar character to them. So, hey girl, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane, and today I have a very hot topic for you about raising your standards because I see so many women who are ready to step up in their very feminine queen era, and I am all for it. Honestly, I'm so happy that women are reclaiming their power and we're able to make this world a little bit better, a better place, honestly. And raising your standards as a woman when you have been suppressed your whole entire life can be really tricky, especially if you don't have any role models or anyone who is in your life, any women who's in your life who can show you exactly what it looks like to have high standards. So, for example, if you haven't had a relationship dynamic, a healthy relationship dynamic in your family, you are for sure not going to know a reference for what a healthy relationship dynamic is. And maybe you are going to attract a lot of unhealthy dynamics very similar to what you had at home. So basically, if you are not lucky enough to be born in a family where women have high standards, where women know what they want, where women are respected by men, then chances are that you are just struggling to find your own self respect inside your relationship right now. And so I'm here to guide you in raising your standards and what does it look like for you in your life, in your current situation, and why raising your standards is something that's so important in this day and age. I'm going to start just by telling you that the moment you realize your value, you are going to understand that you need to raise your standards so much higher than they are right now because the bar is in hell in so many aspects. Women really don't see their value because if we did, we wouldn't accept or tolerate some situations. And we do so because we think that we don't matter, that our needs don't matter, that our voice doesn't matter. And overall, we have a very low esteem of ourselves and we put ourselves last. But where does that lead you? Honestly, it leads you to be really sad about your life, to be depressed about your life, to hate your life, basically, and be frustrated and compare yourself to other women. So, putting yourself last and tolerating abuse are things that you need to stop right now. After watching this video, you're not going to be the same person, okay? So, get yourself some cup of tea, a little matcha, a little coffee situation, and sit down with me because we're going to have a talk. So, we all know what a woman's life with low standards looks like. This woman lets herself be a doormat. She just has no boundaries. She's a people pleaser. She lets other people abuse her time, abuse her energy, abuse everything she has. She overgives constantly to feel useful, to feel loved. She also tolerates a lot of things that she shouldn't just because she doesn't want to upset anyone and she doesn't want to bother anyone. She would just tolerate abuse at work, abuse in relationships. She would tolerate things that she wouldn't let her daughter do, but she does. Low standards really make your life very miserable. And in this video, I just want to reassure you that it's okay if you're in that situation. You can change this. and you can start receiving the treatment that you are here to receive, that you completely deserve. And this starts with your mindset, girl. If you believe that you are not worthy of respect, how are other people going to respect you? Really? It all starts with your mindset. And so, to raise your standards, you actually need to work on your self respect. Write a list of what are the things that you will not tolerate anymore. What are your non negotiables with your boss, with your boyfriend, with your family? What are you not available for anymore? Write that list. Really write it down, because you will see where you need to set the boundaries. Standards, it's all about boundaries. So once you have that list of things that you will not tolerate anymore, for example, disrespect at work, for example, cheating, for example, someone who lies to you, your boyfriend lying to you. I don't tolerate any lies. And from that set point, you will see where you need to set the boundaries. How do you set the boundaries then? This is what you need to do. You need to take that list that you just wrote down about your non-negotiables, your list of I'm not available for this anymore. And on the side of all this points, you are going to write down the consequences. So, for example, if you don't tolerate lies, you don't tolerate your boyfriend lying to you, next time he does, next time someone lies to you, what boundary are you going to enforce? What's the consequence of someone lying to you? Are you going to never talk to them again? Are you going to tell them that this is the last time they see you again? Like, what is the consequence? Because honestly, high standards are high boundaries. People need to know not to F with you. And the only way that this is going to happen is if you enforce the consequences when someone crosses a boundary. This is so important, because if you don't have those boundaries already set with yourself and you already know what is it that you are not available for, it's going to be really difficult for you to have discernment and to really enforce those boundaries for yourself. Boundaries keep you safe, okay? They keep you mentally sane. They make sure that you get your needs met. And if you're not getting your needs met, then they're out of the door. You're out of the door. You leave situations that are not good for you, point blank. So once you have defined those non negotiables and defined the consequences that you will enforce, you can really see the change in your self respect. This is all about increasing your self respect. The more self respect you have for yourself, the less BS you will be tolerating. Let me tell you. So, the other thing about high standards when it comes to dating, when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to relationships and getting what you want in relationships, the other thing that's really important is that when you set a standard, for example, a high standard for dating would be that you only date masculine provider men who take care of their health, who exercise, who have a successful mindset. If those are your standards regarding men in dating, you need to make sure that you also raise yourself to that bar and that you meet your own standards. You cannot ask of someone something that you're not doing yourself. You cannot ask for a man who exercises and is really healthy if you sit on the couch every single day eating potato chips and watch movies every single night. That doesn't work, because this man's not going to be attracted to you. He's going to feel attracted to someone who has similar standards. So, your standards for other people are also the standards that you need to be meeting yourself. I will never ask of a man to do something that I'm not doing in terms of values and in terms of character. I will not ask of a man to be transparent and honest with me if I'm not being transparent and honest with him. I will not ask of a man that he is patient with me if I am not patient with him. It doesn't work like that. Men are going to be attracted to someone who have similar values and a similar character to them. So, standards are all about self respect. They're all about how you view yourself, how much respect do you have for yourself, and how much of a lever you can be of situations that are not what you want, basically. So make sure that you can actually meet the standards that you hold other people to. Otherwise, it's very hypocritical for you to hold a certain high standard if you're not meeting that as well, right? I take excellent care of my health. It's my number one priority. My physical and mental health are my number one priority. I make sure that I eat whole, nutritious meals every single day. I make sure that I'm hydrated. I make sure that I cook for myself and that I have my meals ready for the week. I make sure that I plan my meals. All of these things are non negotiable for me in my life. This is what I do. Okay. So that's what I expect also from a partner, from a man that I'll share my life with, right? I cannot expect a man to do stuff that I don't do. So, if you need a little bit of time to readjust your priorities and your self respect, do so. If you need to take a break from a relationship, from a situation, and really zoom out and see, is this really what I want? Is this really aligned with my values? Please take a break and reevaluate where your boundaries are. What are you going to stop tolerating? Where are you not available for anymore? Enforce those boundaries. This is for you. This is self respect. If people don't like you putting boundaries and enforcing them, it means they were benefiting from your lack of boundaries in the first place. So that's why you need to enforce them. Make sure that you know your self respect comes before any sort of feelings you might have for anyone, or any sort of feelings that someone might have about you setting boundaries. If your boss is going to be upset because you're not going to answer messages at midnight, then they're benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Now they will know. And it's okay if it feels weird at the first time that you're setting those boundaries. People are going to test you and see, okay, is she for real? But once they see that you're for real, you will not budge about your self-respect. That is either this or I'm out the door. They will not F with you. They will not joke with you anymore. It's all about your self respect, and self respect comes from self love. So, one of the things that I think about a lot when it comes to setting boundaries and increasing my self love and my self respect, and you can borrow this and use it for your life as well, is that I always think about, would I let my daughter do this? What would I tell my daughter? If I had a daughter, I don't have kids, by the way, right now, but if I had a daughter, what would I tell her? Would I let her go through this? Would I let her suffer in an abusive relationship? What would I tell her to do, you know? Because we tolerate so much that we shouldn't. So, what would you tell your daughter? I think that's a good one to chew on. And I will leave you with this in this video. Let me know if you want more videos like this. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them in more videos. So, leave your questions in the comments. Also, let us know in the comments, how do you raise your standards? What helped you raise your standards? I would love to create a community in the comments where we can help each other as women. We really desperately need a community. So this is the place. Really ask your questions, tell your story. We're here to listen. I'm here to cheer you on. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. I really appreciate your time. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.